Such a beautiful afternoon. We are in Kenya and we are in this place known as Nyanyuki. And what is important, what is brilliant about Nyanyuki is the place where we have the equator. Equator splits the earth into half, into the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. And Equator actually runs through 13 countries and Kenya is one among them. So we are at the equator, 0 degrees, and there's something very interesting that happens at the equator. And then here I have my friend Patrick. Patrick, say hi.
Hi.
Hi, Patrick is my friend from Nyanyuki and he's going to demonstrate an interesting phenomena here about the equator. Go ahead, Patrick.
My name is Patrick and I will come into the equator. Equator is a vertical line which divides the world into 2 hemispheres. We have the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So this side is the northern hemisphere and this side is the southern hemisphere. The line runs from east to west. So we are going to have an experiment here which will prove you that this is where the line of the equator passes. It's about how the water rotates in different hemispheres. So when I pour water in this bowl, I let it drain. When you are in the northern hemisphere, always the water takes clockwise direction. When you cross south, it changes to anti-clockwise.
So that means when we are in the northern hemisphere, the water
Turns clockwise direction.
turns clockwise. So when we are in the southern hemisphere, it turns anti-clockwise. So what happens at the equator at 0
At the
degrees?
equator, everything stands still, no rotation.
So at the equator, everything stands still. There is no rotation. Can we see that, Patrick?
Yeah. So we are going to walk some distance from the side to see the effect because equator is imaginary line. So we have to be away from the equator to see the change. So we are going to approximately 20 meters from the side.
So we're going to walk about 10 meters
10
to the
meters
north,
10 meters to the south.
then to the south, so that you can appreciate
Yeah.
the clockwise and the anti-clockwise,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So let's walk.
Let's go.
So now we are in the northern hemisphere.
The northern hemisphere, 10 meters from the side of the equator. So when I let the water drain, I put the indicator in the water. You see that the indicator takes clockwise direction.
So you put the indicator in the water and it's taken a clockwise direction.
Yeah,
That's brilliant, yeah.
yeah. And as you go far north or far south, always the effect of Coriolis is very strong.
So we are in India, which is in the northern hemisphere, and what I can read from this is when we flush our closet in India,
Yeah.
the water always runs clockwise. So now I understand why this is happening.
Yeah.
So if we go to the other side of the equator,
It will change.
I would expect this to
Change.
turn anti-clockwise. Let's see that.
Let's see.
So now we are in the southern
We
hemisphere.
are southern hemisphere, 10 meters from the sign of the equator. I let the indicator again. The indicator takes anti-clockwise.
Wow, this is amazing. So here it is turning anti-clockwise, the southern
This is
hemisphere.
all caused by the Earth's rotation.
So why is this happening? Can you tell us, Patrick?
Pardon?
Why is this happening? How can you tell us why this is?
This
Why is it clockwise in the northern and
It's due to
anti-clockwise?
the Earth's rotation.
Earth rotation.
Yeah.
So is it got something to do with the electromagnetic thing?
Yeah, the magnetic force on the equator is very strong. That's why on the equator everything stands still.
Stand still.
So as you go far away, the magnetic comes weak due to
So-
the Coriolis force.
So shall we check what happens at
Yeah, let's
the 0 degrees?
Now we are exactly at the 0 degrees of the equator line. Or we can say we are now at the center of the world. Because
So we are the center of the earth now.
we are center of the earth now. What happens here, there will be no rotation because of the magnetic pull from the south. So the indicator will just stand still. And I want to drain straight up. It shows that here is the point where the line of the equator passes. Let's see.
So here the water is going to stand still.
Yeah.
So if you put the
The indicator,
indicator, it's not going to
the
move.
indicator will not move. Only the disturbances of the wind. But you know that circular motion, as you have seen in north south.
This is amazing.
Yeah. And that's how we determined that the sign is exactly situated on the equator.
Sorry?
That's how we determined that the sign is exactly situated on the equator. This
Okay.
sign is exactly on the
So
equator.
this is exactly the equator.
And this happens all the places where the line of the equator passes. It won't be like this. So if you are somewhere, you are not sure that you are north or south, just open a bathroom shower and water sink. You know that you are in the north or you are in the south.
So if you are in some country and then you want to know if you are in the northern hemisphere or in the southern hemisphere, we need to go to the restroom
Yeah.
and then flush
Yeah.
the closet, and then you know
Yeah.
we are in the north or south.
Yeah, that's
And accidentally, if I happen to be in a country which passes, or the equator passes in the country, and what happens in the closet there?
you know, when the builders, the constructors, when you put together the end house, they have to locate the equator so that they don't put the toilet exactly either in the north or in the south.
So that means to say the water is not going to swirl around
Just-
if it is on the equator. So these countries where the equator passes,
Yeah.
they don't have restrooms on the equator, right?
So that,
Yeah, either it has to be 10 meters
Yeah,
to
10
the north
meters,
or 10 meters to the south. That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Patrick. Asante sana. We'll see you soon. Thank you.